Hello ladies, this is Stella and this is week 8 of the Treasure Island Challenge. Now by now you should have decorated your blue pages as best you can, but obviously you can go back and finish them off as you go along. It's your journal, you can do what you like with it, but we have some structure here. So this week from today we're going to be making some pockets to put in the journal as we've gone along so far. My journal is in 3 signatures. Now, the first signature, which is this one, is to do with the ship, and the second signature is to do with the sea, and the third one will be to do with the island. So I've split it up like that, and this is the first one. So there are lots of different ways of making pockets, and some of you are very familiar with them all, and some of you have never done them before, and some have done a few but not too many. So together we will learn as we go along, and I'll show you what I've done so far with this one. So on the first page, this is not the cover, this is the first page, I've made a little pocket like this with a photograph. So this was a photograph that I took last September when I went to see the Victory down in Portsmouth Dock. It's in dry dock. And I've just stuck it around here with Fabri-Tac, and that makes a nice little pocket for these 2 tags. This tag says this belongs to, and this one says nothing at the moment. So they sit in there like that. Now the first set of pockets is one that was inspired by one of the members who used to be in our group, Kim Fast, and she did an ocean journal and she made these pockets like this. There are 3 pieces of paper and a 4th here all together, and she staggered them and put these little half moons in so that you've got lots of room to put your different things in, and they get deeper as they go along, which is handy because then you can put very tall things in at the top. And I will put her video on sometime in the next few days so that you can see how she did it, and I'll give you a very brief idea here as well. So that's the second type of pocket. The first is very simple, just a photograph. This is the second one. This was a photograph that I made smaller, and again I've just stuck it in, and that leaves a space for these little tickets that we made in one of the previous weeks. They just sit in there like that. This is the 3rd or 4th type of pocket, which is very simple, just triangular shaped piece of card or paper. This is paper which I've torn along the edges and distressed to make it look a little bit more authentic. That's my cats fighting, or rather the neighbour's cats fighting, and in there I've got a piece of paper which is actually going to be the story. This is the story, and I might get back to that later if the video is not too long. This is another simple type of pocket, which is just a piece of the half cut A4, just cut like so and stitched on, or stuck if you don't have a sewing machine, and that gives you plenty of room to put the bigger things in as well. this little pocket was made from literally bits and pieces that I had left over from cutting out some little notebooks that I've made, which we'll get on to later. And I looked at them and I thought, well, that looks like a boat. So using imagination and all the little offcuts, I've made what amounts to a little tiny weeny notebook. And in there you can put other things. You can put your pockets, you can put these, whatever you like. I was quite pleased with that. And one of the pieces of paper that I wasn't using for anything else, I've used to make a sail. The mast here is a lolly stick. So that's the boat. And here's another pocket. This is a big triangular pocket, which I've stitched and then stitched on. And this one has got a little pocket tuck spot at the front, so you can use that for your tags as well. And this is one of the torn flashcards that I've stuck on and then put another one inside there. So multiple use pocket, that one. This pocket here I've made with an old map page, which was fun to do, and that's merely a square, and you fold the paper until you get the size you want, and then I've stitched that on. And inside I've put a shaker card with sea treasures in for the moment, and I'll be showing you how I did that later on. This is a tuck spot, a rather large one, but it was the back of an old Christmas card. I think I showed you that last week, and it matches this picture of the Mary Rose beautifully. This was King Henry VIII's flagship, which sank in 1545. It was. And here's another one of the multi-use pockets, which in my case never seem to come out quite the same each time I do them. I don't know if you will find the same thing, but by the time you've distressed the edges and done a bit of stitching, it looks quite unique. And again, the little tuck spot bit here means that you can poke other things in there. It doesn't have to be the flashcards, it can be anything you like. But I've put mine in. One of the reasons is so I don't forget where they are, because I'm terrible at losing things. I put them in safe places and then I forget where they are. This one is similar, but without the bit at the bottom. So I've tucked this top piece in, and I covered it with a coconut soap wrapper, because coconuts feature a lot on an island, don't they? And I thought that rather went well with it, especially being brown. So there's two pockets there, one at the back and one at the front, and I'll come on to the tags in another week. And that's just the last page. This pocket is, I forget what they call them now, but you can slide things into these little slits. You can actually buy something that makes these, or if you're good with a craft knife, and mind you don't cut your fingers, you could make it yourself. So that's that. I don't think I'm going to have time to read you the story, the start of the story. because I just want to get onto the pockets a little bit first. Now, I bought this book, which is full of nice pictures, nice papers and pictures of Oceania. This little starfish, and we've got a plain blue, a spotty blue, palm trees. What else? Oh, exotic flowers and so on. And that is Ocean Dreams design pad. www.craftywizard.co.uk, but I'm sure you've got very similar things in America as well. And that's dead easy because all you have to do with that is cut a triangle or cut it square, and you'll find that it's the right size for your pages. You might have to trim off a little bit, but if you cut them, you can cut them where you like, and if you tear them, it doesn't matter either, does it? So you can use these. They're in centimetre sizes, 14.8 by 21 centimetres. Doesn't say in inches on there. So if you start off with an A4 or 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, whatever size you're working on, and you can literally do whatever you want with that. So you could fold it in half, like so, fold the corner down like so. That would make a pocket. You could do that. You do the other side. Turn it over. Obviously you can have more time to do this and do a better job of it. Use your bone folder if you've got one. Make it as neat as you can. But if you're going to sew it, it doesn't really matter because you can manipulate it more. And then you just fold it in like so. And then you can do this way or that way. And then I would just sew it round. You could, that's one thick one, but you could make two thinner ones if you cut the piece of paper in half first. So if you cut it along there, then you've got two, and you can just do all sorts of things with it. You could make two if you cut down there. And now you've got two like so, and you can put, if you've got a little cutter, you can make a little half circle in there. Just lots of things. When you've done it a little bit more neatly, you've got this, and then the thing to do is to distress it before you stitch it. Because most of us have done it the other way round. I've got two of these blending tools. If you buy a kit of these blending tools, you get spare sponge, and eventually the sponge wears out. This is the Tim Holtz Distress Ink Gathered Twigs, but I've got a blue one as well, so I just use this one for now and distress the edges. It's so easy to forget and to do the sewing first. And I've done that more than once. But you can do this part of it as much as you want or as little, and you can decorate these flaps now or later, obviously depending on how you want to decorate them. And then you stitch around the edge. If you had two of them, you could stitch them back to back and have a double one. This one I have stitched, and I've done it with a zigzag. So now you've got a pocket in there, a pocket in there, and it fits nicely on the page, like so, in the middle. So that will be nice. The blue ones I will use for the C signature. And here's one that I did with music paper. Again, with an extra flap there that you could leave. You could put something secret there, or you could have that plain. Distress it and then stitch it, or stick it if you don't have a sewing machine. And this is how it comes out when you've done all that. And that's a nice picture that Leslie sent me. Thank you, Leslie, I love that. And that goes in there just right. It could equally well go in like so, or you could have two of them. And this is one that I did with the browner paper, and this is at the stage where I will now distress along this edge, and then there's a little tuck spot there, you see, and there's one there and there's one there. Or you could put it in your book like a page, like so. So that way you've got an extra page if you need one. If you don't need one, then just attach it to your page. You can either do it double, or you can cut it down there and just have a single one. So I hope that's given you some ideas. And by next week you'll have some pockets made and stitched or stuck into your book. I'm looking forward to seeing what some of you have been doing with your own books. So thank you for watching. This is the end of week 8 video, and I'll be back again next week with week 9. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, you might like to subscribe to my channel and or leave me a nice comment below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.